We are live for no sold out arena in the UFC Apex. I don't know. Isn't there going to be some fans? I don't know. Uncle Dana changes his mind every minute. What is up, guys? Chase Oliver here, bringing you guys my UFC 259 preview and predictions show, podcast, whatever you guys want to call this thing. I'm here to give you guys my thoughts on tonight's card. This is going to be a stacked event. Heck, the prelims alone, the prelims alone can be their own fight night. If you look at the prelim card, you're going to be all saying to yourself, man, why isn't this a fight night? Like, it could literally be a fight night. Sure, there's some older names on there, but they could carry a fight night, in my personal opinion. So I got to just hit this X button right here so we can go ahead and get onto the official UFC website. So let's go ahead right here. And we got the UFC website pulling up here. I don't know what is this screen. Oh, whatever. It works just fine, right? I'm still learning how to use StreamYard, so I do apologize to all the people if you're like, what is this idiot doing? I think this is good, or we can go with the bigger screen. I don't know. The bigger screen just looks weird and stuff like that. But anyways, we got the UFC 259 card. This is the main card, but the prelims are just as good. And I don't know why the UFC website does not show that. Oh, you have to actually hit prelims. Duh. If I actually knew how to use the website, you would know, but of course I don't. So now also the early prelims, pretty solid card. Like, this is the most I've seen for early prelims. Normally early prelims are like super bad. Like, there's like 2 or 3 fights. There's like 5 early prelim fights, and Tim Elliott is just sitting here on the prelims. Remember when he gave DJ a run? Everyone thought he was going to do it. Degenerate Sharingan, hello my friend. It is currently 7:42 a.m. where I live in sunny California. This was just the time for me to do it because I decided, hey, I'll go do my stream, do my quick workout, and then we'll go see if how I'm feeling after tonight, after a little bit of the brewskis, if I feel like going on live to talk about the event. I normally don't like to do too many events when I have a little bit of beers in me because then I'm too overreactive. But yeah, so this is the early prelims, but let's go ahead and talk about some of the prelim fights that I'd be watching, especially if you're someone who's gambling and you're looking to win some money tonight. How's my sound coming, by the way? Because like my classmate, you know what, I'm gonna just do this real quick. I know this is very unprofessional, and I should know, but my classmate the other day, he was like, "I can't hear you, Chase," and I was like, "Dude, what's this guy talking about?" So I thought, okay, so this sounds good on my end. So yeah, what's up, Amir? How we doing, my friend, and stuff? But yeah, so I'm going to go over some of the prelim fights to let you guys know which ones that I feel like are worth betting on and which ones I'll just stay away from. Rohiro Bontoran, he's a guy that I really like. Kai Kara France, this guy is the dude that trained with Israel Adesanya. And so a lot of people like Kai Kara France just for that reason alone. This is why he's the heavy favorite in this one. But I like Rohiro Bontoran. And also, too, with I forgot what Izzy's team is called, but with that team right there, they always like Izzy's like when Izzy's like the main event, and we have a bunch of this city kickboxing team people, they always end up losing, and Izzy's the only one that ends up winning. So I'm just giving you guys a heads up now that I would say, hey, don't bet on Kakara France. Go ahead with this Rohiro Bontoran. I think he's a much better fighter than Kakara France. I think he has better takedowns. I think he's going to do damage on the ground. I like this guy right here. And that's the first prelim of the night. Joseph Benavidez, stay away. Oscar Oskarov missed weight, but he's still a stud. So I would say stay away from Benavidez. Stay away. Like Sonyon Don's going to destroy this Kyra Phillips kid. This poor kid right here, he don't know what's coming to him, man. He is going to destroy this kid. And then Dominic Cruz versus Casey Kenny. Now, I'm going to be honest. I've barely seen anything of Casey Kenny. I know he's a good young talent, so I'm not going to sit here and say like, oh, doubt this kid. But I don't know, Dominic Cruz, this dude's a stud. So you know he hasn't shown any slowness in his long mixed martial arts career. So for me personally, I can't sit here and say, oh yeah, go with Casey Kenny, or Casey Kenny's going to wreck Dominic Cruz, because last time Dominic Cruz fought, he was fighting pretty well against, you know, who many consider the best bantamweight of all time, and Triple C and Henry Cejudo. He looked great in that fight. So you're going to sit here and tell me that I should choose Casey Kenny just because he's a young guy? We've seen this before with Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz goes against some young talent. Everyone tells me that this young talent's going to wreck this guy. Dominic Cruz is on his last ACL tear, and he ends up winning. Like, that's just it with Dominic Cruz. He's just really good when it comes to that. So for me personally, I just think that it has to be, you know, the time for Dominic Cruz to show everyone like, hey, dude, he's gonna win this fight. Like I believe in Dominic Cruz. And if you guys want to go with the Brucey, like the thing is, I want to put Cruz in a parlay. If you're someone that's looking to build a parlay in betting and you choose Dominic Cruz, I just don't think that's the move. I think Dominic Cruz is probably the worst person to put in a parlay. But if you are going with like, say, hey, I just want to do a risky bet, I would say Dominic Cruz is a good risky bet. I would go with Dominic Cruz in my personal opinion. So yeah, I'm gonna tweet this out real quick. My dog is crying, dude. I swear, I have the worst luck with my dogs. Every time when I want to do a stream, every time, oh, they need to go outside. They're barking. They're doing. And I'm like, dude, can y'all just give me like a 30-minute window? Like I take you outside beforehand. Like the dog that I have in my room right now, I can't bring out and just open my door. Everyone's like, oh, why don't you just open the door, let it out? We have this deaf dog. All right, we have this deaf dog. This deaf dog is a menace. A menace. Like this deaf dog is crazy. So this deaf dog, because like one, she's deaf, so she can't hear. She's a nice dog when she wants to be, but she hates this little chihuahua that I have in my room. I don't know why. She just hates this chihuahua. She just wants to kill this thing. So if I let it out, then the deaf dog is gonna go kill the chihuahua, and my mom's not paying attention. Like I guarantee you, my mom, she loves these things, but she barely pays. I take better care of it. Like she just feeds them. I feel like I do way more. I walk them and I do a lot more with these damn dogs than she does. And this deaf dog, sometimes, man, I just want to find a new home. I'm like, man, just go somewhere else. Rough, calm down, bud. But yeah, no. Besides the deaf dog talk, she's a good dog, but sometimes, man, she drives me insane. And right now, my dog is driving me insane. He's crying up a hill, man. Like, let's chill for a second. Let Chase do his predictions. I'll take you down to the condo. We have this little area for him. It's called the condo. It's just a little place for him to stay. So that's where we keep the doggy at. All right. So now we get into the main card for UFC 259. Now, the UFC 259 main card is pretty stacked from top to bottom. This is one of those cards, though. It's hard to recommend any bets. I wouldn't recommend any of these bets for these cards because it's just such a tough card. There's so many crazy fights on this card that I can't say like, hey, like Thiago Santos, I really do like him. I can't recommend betting a heavy amount on him. Now, if you throw him in a parlay and he ends up winning, good. But this Alexander Rakic guy, he's just been on a tear too. Both these guys, like Thiago Santos, he's kind of on the rebound. He had a tough loss against Glover Teixeira. He was actually winning that fight. And then old man Glover, you know, he came out of nowhere and decided to be the spring of youth. And he goes, bam, bam, and stuff like that. And he ends up hitting freaking Thiago Santos. Thiago Santos, the last fight, though, looked a little bit burnt out near the like second, third round. Like his cardio just wasn't there. But let's not forget, Santos is a good fighter. Like Thiago Santos is not a bum. I don't think Thiago Santos is a bad fighter per se. I think he's a really good fighter. And Alexander Rakic, last fight, he had a kind of decision against Anthony Johnson. What I mean, it just wasn't exciting. Not Anthony Johnson, Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith, that fight was just not exciting. Like Smith came in and he just did it. He tried his best, but Rakic was just a little bit better that night. And really, this fight for Rakic, this is definitely a fight Dana White's looking at, and he's saying, hey, you know, like, is this guy for real? Is this guy a guy that I can trust moving forward in the light heavyweight division? Because Santos, he sees potential in Santos. He likes Santos. There's always potential for Santos. Santos at this point, he's not a gatekeeper, but he's reaching that level of maybe being a gatekeeper. But Rakic, this is his fight to break out and say like, hey, Izzy, stay at light heavyweight. I'm your biggest threat. If Izzy does win. Santos, this is for him. It's just like, hey, he wins. Maybe he sits for a little bit longer. Maybe he gets one more fight in 2020. Maybe he gets a rematch with Glover because Glover, I don't think Uncle Dana wants to do Glover. Like, I feel like Glover Teixeira being number one right now in the rankings for Dana is like a nightmare. He does not like that. Like, Glover did not do anything with John Jones when Glover was in his prime. And the last two Glover fights, it was just that both Anthony Smith and Thiago Santos burned themselves out, and he ended up capitalizing, which you need to do, but you're not going to want to build a pay-per-view with Glover Teixeira being your headliner in 2021. Like, that's just not possible. No, that's not That's not feasible for Dana White. That's not feasible for Dana White. So for me personally, I think that Rakic could win this fight. I think if he fights smart, it's good for him. But at the same time, it's not good for him because Dana's hoping this guy will come out and impress. There's a reason why he's facing a dude like Thiago Santos and he's not fighting some bum. If he rushes in, though, Santos can catch him, and it's going to be a short night for Alexander Rakic. My prediction is Thiago Santos KO in the second round. I think Santos is the much better fighter in this one. I think Rakic just has a little bit more fights in him where he can fight a bunch more of the tougher competition. He's been kind of like his most notable win is, to a falling Anthony Smith, and Anthony Smith's been falling down the card since the John Jones fight. So for me personally, like, yes, I know Anthony Smith, he beat Gustafsson at I think the Sweden card and stuff, and he was like, don't quit doubting me, but ever since then, we've been doubting you, my boy, and there's a reason why. So I gotta go with Thiago Santos winning this one. Habib, the clone, Islam Makhachev taking on Drew Dober. Now, Islam Makhachev has been hyped up forever. If you guys been watching UFC or mixed martial arts for a good minute, I'm pretty sure when you've seen a Habib Nurmagomedov card, you've seen Islam Makhachev. And you've heard so many people say, this guy's better than Habib. Islam right here, Islam Makhachev is better than Habib. Daniel Cormier, every single time will say, Habib's good, but Islam Makhachev, this guy's better. And we've been waiting. And every performance of Islam Makhachev has just been kind of disappointing. I just feel it has been a disappointing time watching him. Like I'm sitting here and I'm like, Islam Makhachev's a good fighter. His striking is still kind of suspect. He's a great wrestler, obviously, but other than that, nothing really gets me saying like this guy is that great, or if he's the next Khabib. I think he's going to be a good contender in the lightweight division, but I don't see him as the next Khabib. And I feel bad for Islam Makhachev because it's just such a hard label to give him, because Habib is such a mythical figure in mixed martial arts that when you give this young man that name, like the next Habib, or he's going to be the one to carry Habib's torch, it's kind of hard to say to yourself, like, this guy is going to deliver. But Islam Makhachev is a really good fighter. He's facing a tough task in Drew Dober. Drew Dober is a tough man. He has those records that look deceiving. He has those Nate Diaz, Jorge Masvidal type records where you're like, dude, what the heck? The guy's like 15-9. I believe he's like 15-9. But the guy is tough, and he's been on the rise, Drew Dober. He's been fighting. And if there's a guy that looks like he could do some damage to Islam, it's Drew Dober. He definitely has the advantage in the striking department. And, this was also said with Khabib. You got to get him with a good wrestler and see how he does. And Drew Dober is a good wrestler, but I don't know, like just the way that the Dagestanians and the way they wrestle is just so different because they know how to pressure their weight. They know how to like lay on top of you. They just know how to do certain things. So for me personally, I just feel that it's going to be an easy win for Islam Makhachev. I would like this fight to be competitive, but I just don't see it being a competitive fight. So I got Islam Makhachev in this. Petr Yan, the UFC bantamweight champion, defends his belt for the first time against Aljamain the Funk Master Sterling. In this fight, if there was any fight that you were saying, Chase, which fight are you worried about getting canceled on this card? It's this fight right here. I had this circled in like the red pen, and I was like, please do not cancel this fight. This is the fight I'm most excited for tonight, just because I get to finally see Petr Yan against a well-known name in Aljamain Sterling. Now, I know everyone's going to say, Chase, he fought Jose Aldo, he fought Uriah Faber, and yes, those are better names than Aljamain Sterling on paper. It's just on the level of competition, Uriah Faber hasn't been competitive since like 2013. Jose Aldo's good, but we've seen that Jose Aldo is not championship level good anymore. He's still good, just not championship level good. Petr Yan has been this one guy that Dana White loves. Dana White loves this guy. There's something about him. Uncle Dana was forcing this dude down our throats. I have not understood Dana White's fascination with this guy. I think he's a great fighter. I think he has talent. I just don't think he's ready to be this right here. See this C next to his name? I just don't think he's a champion yet. In my personal opinion, yes, he is. He has the belt, but I don't think this is the reign of Petr Yan. I don't think this is the I don't think this is Petr Yan spinal form is what I'm trying to get at is like I feel like it's one of those things where it's kind of like George St. Pierre, where it was like, yeah, he was young when he first fought Matt Hughes, but after a couple of training sessions, change of camps and everything, he got a little bit better. I feel like this is the same thing for Petr Yan. I feel like this fight right here, Aljamain Sterling is a guy that I see winning just because I just like his overall skill set a little bit better than Petr Yan. I like the level of competition he's fought better than Petr Yan. But the thing with Petr Yan is that I'm not going to count this guy out because, Dana White sees something in him. But I think that at the end, even if he does lose this fight, I don't think this is the last of him. I think Petr Yan will still come out stronger and that he will go on another run, and we might see that C next to his name. I just think at this moment of time, it may not be his time. But I could be wrong. There's a reason why Uncle Dana loves Petr Yan. There's a reason why Petr Yan is getting all this smoke from Mr. Dana White. And it could be the fact that, not just because he's an international superstar with the Russian background and what you can market him as, but his striking is probably one of the best in the UFC. Like if you've seen Petr Yan striking, it's clean. And the crazy thing about Petr Yan, I think he's more well known as a wrestler than he is as a striker, but his striking's clean. If you watch a lot of Petr Yan fights, this guy is very precise. He does not waste punches. His feints are really nice too. Like he gets opponents. Like what he likes to do, he sets up with some nice little leg kicks. Like he likes to do his leg kicks. He likes to throw people off with the kicks. And then what he does really well is when someone is like really unbalanced, he goes for a nice jab and he stuns the people with that jab. And then people are like, okay, it's just his jab. Okay, I got it now. And then what he does well is that he'll feint like he's throwing the jab. He's not throwing the jab. They react like he is, and then he hits them with a hook or an uppercut, whatever their facials are making or wherever they're moving their head. That's where Petr Yan targets, and that's what makes him so good. He's so good in a striking perspective, but when you're facing a guy like Aljamain Sterling, sometimes in mixed martial arts, it is that well-rounded individual. It is that guy that has all the skill sets. You have a guy who's a legit jiu-jitsu practitioner. You have a guy that can take you down at will, super strong for the weight class. He's a strong 135 Aljamain Sterling. Like you saw how big Corey Sandhagen was, and Sterling backpacked on him like it was nothing, man. Like this guy is not a bum. Aljamain Sterling is a stud. Right now, this fight is even on the odds, and that makes sense. If I was someone betting, I would bet that Aljo would win, but I won't be surprised if Petr Yan wins because Petr Yan is so skilled on the feet. He just knows how to throw his punches. Like watching Petr Yan fight, he doesn't miss many punches. Like he literally does not waste any energy. His feints look like his jabs. Like they're just so freaking good. So it's going to be interesting to see how Aljamain Sterling, because the one knock on Sterling is like he has struggled against other strikers. Like he is a well-rounded striker, but we've seen him when he's fought against strikers and he gets a little bit cocky, like the Marlon Moraes fight where he thought he could hang with Marlon, and that just wasn't the case. So for me personally, I'm going with Aljamain Sterling. I think Sterling will pull off the upset in quotation marks for most people, and he'll become champion. But that won't be the end of Petr Yan. I just think right now, Petr Yan, this is like the GSP versus Matt Hughes fight. Except he is the champion. I just think Petr Yan, it's going to take a while, but once he gets the tools in the shed, we're going to be talking about one of the best of all time. One, not the one of. But yeah, Petr Yan is good. He's a good fighter. He has great skills. I just haven't seen him against a guy with that number one ranking like Aljamain Sterling. But the thing about that bantamweight division, I'll say this, man. Number 10 through like 2 are all killers, man. The bantamweight division is must-see TV in the UFC. It's the best division in the UFC. I'm not going to pause when I say that. It may not be the most star-studded, but it is the best division in the UFC. Up next, we got the women's featherweight title fight. The champ Amanda Nunes is taking on Megan Anderson, or is it Megan Anderson? I've been hearing that, this is like the hard part with some UFC fighters. They don't clarify with the reporters. Hey, can you call me this name? Like, I'm over here calling her Megan Anderson, and I think that's her name, but then I hear some people calling her Megan Anderson. John Anik's calling her Megan Anderson, and then 1 minute he's calling her Megan Anderson. So I don't know. I don't know her name. If I'm wrong on her name, you can roast me in the comment section. That's completely fine. But I just want to know, what do we call her? Is it Megan or is it Megan? Whatever. So this is rare. Megan Anderson is on her last fight on the UFC contract. Uncle Dana never does this, where he's like, oh yeah, someone's on their last fight. Let's have them fight Amanda Nunes, or let's have them fight for the title. This is a rare occurrence. And to me personally, I don't know if it's that Dana wants Anderson to look bad on the way out if she loses this fight. I don't know if it's just going to be like, hey, if Anderson wins, it's an easier negotiation. Well, she would have to negotiate because she is a champion. And honestly, if she does win and she does say, hey, I'm leaving, it gives Dana White an easy way to say, rip, with this UFC Women's Featherweight title bout. Now, we talked about it before when Cejudo was the flyweight champion. He was fighting for that division. Megan Anderson is fighting for that second belt over Amanda Nunes' shoulder. This division, the featherweight division, is so bad. It doesn't even have the rankings on the UFC page. We can go to the UFC rankings page real quick. We're going to go to the rankings. Let's see if UFC Women's Featherweight has one. Look at that. It's just Amanda Nunes. We just see Amanda Nunes' strong head right here. Bantamweight, oh yeah, we have all these people. Featherweight, where's Megan Anderson ranked? We don't even know. She's not even ranked in the featherweight division. They don't even have a rankings in the featherweight division for this one, man. We just don't have it. But yeah, so see, Megan Anderson literally knocked someone out in their last fight. They don't even have a W for Megan Anderson. The one thing that a lot of people have been like really talking about for this fight is the fact that Megan Anderson's 6 foot tall. Like this is like the biggest talking point for this fight. And here's the thing. I watched some Megan Anderson tape. This girl does not know how to use her size. That's all I'm going to say. So if you hear some motherfucker, well, I don't know, Amanda Nunes is fighting a taller fighter. I've seen Megan Anderson fight. She fights like she's a 5'8" fighter. She's not 6 foot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like she's not fighting big. She's fighting small. She likes to fight in the pocket. The one thing that you can talk about is that Megan Anderson's hands are dynamite. Like both her and Amanda Nunes can actually knock, and Valentina Shevchenko and Weili Zhang can knock a woman out conscious with their hands. Like that's something you can definitely talk about. But the thing is, when you have this and you have this and you fight like this and this, that's a bad recipe against the baddest woman on the planet. You're not going to sit here and try to tell me that Amanda Nunes is going to lose to Megan Anderson if she's 6 foot tall fighting like she's 5'11". She just doesn't use her height. She just doesn't use her reach. Watch her fights. She likes fighting in the pocket. And the one thing that I worry about with Megan Anderson is this. Is she going to look at it and, like, you know, everyone does this during the pre-fights. I'm not afraid of the challenge. I want to go ahead and take it head forward. Is she just going to sit there and watch Amanda Nunes, or is she actually going to do shit against Amanda Nunes? Because you can talk a big game, but are you actually going to go in there and make it, what's it called? Are you going to make it where it's like, hey, what's it called? I'm going to make Amanda Nunes uncomfortable. Are you going to be the one to throw the first punch? Are you going to just do and let Amanda Nunes do whatever she wants? Because that's the problem. It's like Canelo. It's like a lot of other great fighters. People freeze up. They talk about it, and then all of a sudden one punch hits, and they don't like that. One thing about Megan Anderson is that she does have some solid wrestling. Like, you know, she does have some solid. Look at this, man. She doesn't even have a knockdown average, dog. Like, poor Megan Anderson. Yeah, she didn't even have a nickname. Like, I'm pretty sure she does, and UFC's just like, fuck your nickname, dog. Like, well, yeah, no, this fight right here, look, if you're a crazy man and you want to just have some fun with it, throw a small bet on Megan Anderson. It'll be triple your pay, whatever you put in. Like, if you're someone that's like, hey, you know what? I'm feeling good. Because that's the thing. She does have power. It's not like Megan Anderson does not have power. That's not my concern. My concern is that she's 6 foot tall and she fights like she's Amanda Nunes' height. You can't fight small if you're a tall person. Like that's what has made John Jones so great, is that he knows how to use his length. Like, when a fighter knows how to use those little things that actually like for example, Gustafsson. Gustafsson is good, but he never ended up like John Jones because he never learned how to use his reach to his advantage. You know, he always liked to fight in the pocket with other fighters for whatever reason, fight more inside. He never really used the reach. John Jones, he's always used his reach. He's always had control in that octagon. That's what made him good. Megan Anderson would be a threat to Amanda Nunes with this 6 foot frame and this 72-inch reach. because if she was good, she'd be able to make Amanda Nunes miss a little bit more, make Amanda Nunes uncomfortable, because Nunes will probably be like, oh shit, dude, I'm not used to fighting girls that are legit using their reach. I'm used to fighting people that feel like they can stand with me. And then especially it'll make Amanda Nunes have to expend more energy just trying to throw a punch or throw a power shot. So if she knew how to do that, I would be like, hey guys, look, this is not much of a what's it called? This is not, the bettors have it wrong here. This is a closer fight, but this is not a close fight. This is another Amanda Nunes winning this fight unless Megan Anderson throws a Hail Mary punch. No, I'm being that serious. Megan Anderson needs a Hail Mary punch. If Megan Anderson lands a Hail Mary punch, especially early on in this fight, don't be surprised if she wins. But if we're going to talk about who's the choice to win, you got to go with Amanda Nunes. She's just overall better. Like, that's just how it is. It's like it's hard to choose against her. She's just one of those people you can't choose against at this moment in time. It's like Khabib, John Jones, and her. Like, how are you going to choose against Amanda Nunes? And especially when I've watched some Megan Anderson fights, and like I said, if she hits a Hail Mary punch on Nunes, or the correct punch, yeah, because she has power. This is a big girl with power right here. This is like, because she cuts to this weight. Like, if she's 145 cutting, how much do you think she weighs? 160, 170? Around there? That's pretty good. Maybe she walks around at 175. Big girl. Big girl. And I think that she definitely has a chance with a punch. But that's it, with just a punch. In an overall mixed martial arts fight, there's a lot more. And look, if she proves me wrong, good on you, Megan Anderson, whatever your name is. Good on you. But I got the GOAT. I got Amanda Nunes. By the way, UFC, that was disrespectful that you gave Aspen Ladd Amanda Nunes' walkout song. Like, what was that all about? Did you guys hear that during the last UFC pay-per-view? Like, Aspen Ladd came out to the "I'm unstoppable, invincible." That's Amanda Nunes' song. You don't do that. That's like giving some bum. That's like giving me, if I fought in the UFC, "Ain't no sunshine when she gone," giving them Anderson Silva song, or if I came out to right above it, like DC song. There's certain songs you don't touch. There's certain songs you don't touch. If you guys have any predictions, go put them in the comment section down below in the chat. Be greatly appreciative and everything. I know everyone likes to do the Q&As, but you know what also helps the streams is if you guys chat about what the topic is as well. It helps the algorithm and stuff like that. So, yeah. All right, main event. Jan Blachowicz, Polish Power, taking on Israel, the last Stylebender, Adesanya. Now, I don't know why they have him at 216. Like, that's a weird, like, isn't it 205? But I don't know. When it comes down to it, these two men fought on the last card. It's almost like a perfect booking for the UFC. You know, Blachowicz was on the undercard. He was the underdog against Dominic Reyes, and he ended up shocking the world with that knockout against Dominic Reyes. Now, I had oh my God, get out of my room. Hey, out, not now. Ugh, the dogs, I swear. They love doing their own thing, man. They love doing their own thing, dude. They're wild animals. But yeah, when it comes down to it, Blachowicz shocked the world. I was one of the people that said, hey, I just think Reyes is overlooking Blachowicz. I think Reyes is just false confident. Like, I just think that he really believes he's the champion. He really believes he's the champion and that he's going to destroy Jan Blachowicz. And Blachowicz just picked him apart. Israel Adesanya, though, he's just on another level when it comes to being a fighter. Now, this is the thing. Does Blachowicz have a chance? This is what some of my casual fans have been asking. Some people that are debating if they want to order this card have been asking, does Blachowicz stand a chance? And I tell people all the time, like, he does. He has a puncher's chance. We haven't really seen much of his wrestling in the light heavyweight division. The guy's actually a pretty solid wrestler. It's not like he's a bad wrestler. Like, a lot of people have been sleeping on that aspect of Blachowicz's game and stuff. We just know him as a knockout artist. But he does have a chance. He does have an opportunity to give Izzy some fits. He's not the bigger guy, as many would probably think. Weight-wise, he's the bigger guy. Height-wise, Izzy's the bigger guy. People forget Izzy used to fight heavyweight at kickboxing back in the day. But yeah, Blachowicz, you know, he doesn't do too many takedowns, but you see right here with this stat right here and his accuracy, the guy's pretty good. And it'll be interesting to see with Izzy because he's never fought a guy that is big like Blachowicz trying to take him down. So it'll be interesting to see if Blachowicz decides, hey, let me throw Izzy off. Izzy's expecting a striking exchange. I'm looking to use my wrestling. I'm looking to use my wrestling background and try to do pressure that way, do some dirty boxing. I feel like a lot of people, especially if you're Blachowicz, you got to watch the Gastelum fight. I feel like if you're not watching the Kelvin Gastelum fight against Israel Adesanya, you're doing it all wrong. You got to watch that fight and you got to see what Gastelum did well against Izzy, because I feel like there's still some stuff there. One of the things that I feel like Blachowicz could catch Izzy with is his head kick. Gastelum hit Izzy with a nice head kick in the fight that stunned Izzy a little bit, and he set that up with a good combination of jabs and crosses to get Izzy biting a little bit. And I feel like with Izzy's style, especially because he keeps his hands down a lot, I feel that Blachowicz could get a nice head kick in, and that could cause some problems for Izzy. You know, Izzy wasn't known for having well, he does have a chin, but he wasn't known for having a chin in his K1 days. He did get knocked out a couple of times, and especially against heavier dudes. So for me personally, I can't sit here and say, hey, Blachowicz is some bum. He's going to lose. Look, Blachowicz has bought some adversity. He had a rough start to his UFC career, but he's bounced back, and he's always been that guy. A lot of people have been underlooking, have been saying this guy is not good. He's not going to win the fight. And that's the thing. To me personally, I get it. It's easy to discredit Blachowicz, but I'm not going to sit here and discredit this guy. I'm not going to sit here and sleep on this guy. I'm just going to tell the guy, like, look, you're just fighting a better fighter, and that's Israel Adesanya. You can't fight Israel Adesanya the way you fought Dominic Reyes. Dominic Reyes is a little bit different of a fighter. Israel Adesanya is a complete fighter right now, and he's just on another level. You can't fight him scared. You can't fight him looking at him and hoping he will make mistakes. If you're waiting for the champion to make mistakes, or not the champion, the challenger to make mistakes, you're not the champion right now, my friend. You got to go out there and force mistakes out of Israel Adesanya. You need to bite down on your mouthpiece and say, hey, I'm going in for the kill, even if I get knocked out. Because if you're Jan Blachowicz, you're losing everything in this fight if you lose. The belt, main event, pay-per-views, everything. You're done. Israel, if he loses, he's still champion in the middleweight division. John Jones just gets to troll him and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, he's still champion in the middleweight division, and most likely he'll go on and be the middleweight. And the one thing too is that it's like Adesanya, we look at this 20-0 record, but he's still young in the sport. It's not like Adesanya is bad in the sport. He goes on a couple another run for the middleweight division. He goes on a couple fight streak. Heck, maybe he says, hey, you know what? Let me get that rematch against Blachowicz. Run that back real quick, Dana. You know what I'm saying? Dana will probably do it because he loves Izzy. That's why. Like, if you're Jan Blachowicz, bite down on that mouth guard. Don't be looking at the champion. What you did against Reyes won't work. You need to bite down. You need to force mistakes out of Izzy. You need to just say, hey, screw it. I like, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Blachowicz starts the fight and he tries to do some wrestling. I wouldn't be surprised, because that's the one thing we always talk about. Well, how does Izzy do against fellow wrestlers? So Blachowicz, it's easy to count him out. It's easy to like disregard the guy, but I don't think he's a guy that you want to sleep on for too long. I don't think Blachowicz is a guy that you want to say like he's going to lose this fight. I think Israel Adesanya is a great fighter and he's going to win. I think he's going to pick Blachowicz apart, especially if Blachowicz fights mostly standing. But if Blachowicz mixes in most of the tools, I definitely think that we could be seeing and still the UFC light heavyweight champion. But as it stands, I got Israel Adesanya becoming the champ of the light heavyweight and the middleweight division. All right. So that's my UFC 235 predictions. If you guys have any other questions, you guys can send in questions and stuff. But yeah, so that's my predictions for the card. Oh my god, I always do stupid shit. I have such bad luck when it comes to like stream. I don't know why, man. I always have bad luck when it comes to streams. Like I always ask, I'm like, oh, why you hate me when I'm on stream, dude? But don't worry, we looking to be great up in here one day. We looking to be great and stuff. So yeah, if you guys have any what's it called? This some of the weasel analysis. Is that a good thing? I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't even watch the weasel, to be honest, man. So I've never seen any of his videos. I know you told me to check him out. Like the only like I just watch tape, man. I just like dude, like literally when I'm bored and I have nothing to do, I literally just watch fights and I just like and I pick apart some of the fights and I say, wow, I like this stuff, I like that stuff, like that's just me. Like I just watch the fights. I'm just not technically sound when it comes to you guys clips and doing all that other cool stuff. That because one, like I don't want to like even if I didn't monetize this video, like you get copyrighted real quick, man. Oh, that's good, man. Jones versus Stipe and Ngannou this summer while Izzy fights Glover. Man, Uncle Dana's not going to put Glover in a title fight, man. That's what I was talking about with the Rockets fight. He's not going to give that to Glover, man. Glover's going to sit there and do nothing, man. I don't know if you heard, but the official Los Angeles Dodgers announced they'll allow certain capacity fans to attend. Yeah, no, yeah. I heard this because we both from California, so they're opening up like theme parks soon and stuff like that. Yeah, LA's slowly opening up, slowly opening up. I won't be surprised if the Lakers make the finals if they let Staples Center have fans. To be honest, you ever seen R.A. Rugg versus Floyd interview? No, I have not. I don't think Izzy's coming back down to middleweight this year if he wins tonight. I think he will. I think there's still a couple fights that are interesting to him in that division. I don't think that he's completely done with the middleweight division. Light heavyweight though, oh god, yeah, there's a lot of other dudes. Like to me, I've said it before. This showed that Izzy was kind of afraid of Jones. Like, why didn't you fight Jones when he was champion? Like you're fighting Blachowicz of all fuckers. Oh, like I don't know. I just think it'll be what's it called? I just think it's different. Do. But yeah, I'm excited for the card. What do you guys? I'm going to a friend's house. Going to be drinking a little bit, eating some good food. What are you guys planning on eating or drinking tonight? I don't know what kind of alcoholic beverages I feel like drinking. Like I don't know. Normally, because like normally I just go with my Modelo's. Like I like Modelo's. I like those. I like red, like very weedy, very like strong ale beers. Like can't do IPAs right now because like when you're on the weight loss grind, you got to be smarter about what beers you drink. I don't feel like drinking some whiskey either because whiskey is normally pretty or red wine. Ugh. I know wine's supposed to be good, but man, when you're watching a fight, when you're drinking some red wine, sometimes it doesn't hit the same. I don't know. People are reaching far away saying Conor McGregor wasn't known before Floyd. Oh no, Conor was known before Floyd. Dude, first take, people were always like going like, oh, could Conor McGregor beat Floyd even before the fight was even possible? What's next for Conor? Oh, dude, John Morgan. That's the first question. Dana, wonderful night, but I gotta ask, what's next for Conor? It's true though. What's next for Conor? If Izzy wins tonight and defends in summer against Glover, he'll fight Jones at New York card and go back to middleweight next year. Same for Jones if he beats Stipe and Ngannou in the summer. No, I think Jones is in heavyweight for the long run. I don't think he's there. To be honest, fighting Glover, I just don't see how Glover like Jones will literally be like Glover. Straight tequila. Oh, that's good, asset Goji. You enjoy that, man. I'm too much. I like it's too hard on that. Like maybe a margarita I could make, but other than that, no, I can't. We're not right now. Oh yeah, Floyd took the fight for money too, because that was a money fight. Izzy versus Jones in December. Oh, let's see. Jones in December. Depends what Jones fights. Because we all know Stipe. Oh, if Stipe beats Ngannou, I'm going to take another year off. Like, so Stipe might not. Jones is hoping Ngannou wins. Because, like, if you're John Jones, you do not want Stipe to win. Because Stipe will literally sit for a long ass time. He has no problem waiting. I gotta do some stuff at the fire station. He has no problem doing that shit. What I feel like though, Stipe helps Jones's legacy more than Ngannou. I feel like Ngannou's like a fan fight. Like fans just want to know, hey, can John Jones withstand a punch from Francis Ngannou? But like at the same time, I feel like Stipe is a better fight for Jones legacy wise because then he could say that he beat the guy that beat Daniel twice, legitimately, not with cocaine or what he said, picogram. Oh, we awesome. Which fights though, J Mac? Like the main card or like just like when the cards like the title fights? Yeah, keep in mind, guys, you got to plan out your things accordingly. This is a long night, especially if these title fights go long. Oh my god, dude. Like that sometimes kills the momentum of a card. Like especially like Santos and Islam go oh, especially Islam if he has another 3 round snooze fest and then Yan and Aljo's like 5 rounds, but it's not doing anything. Oh, those can be the longest cards, man. Those can be the longest cards where you're just sitting there and these guys are just like, oh man. So I love when the UFC has those 3 title fight cards, but I hate them at the same time because they can just go forever, man. You just feel like, oh man, Conor McGregor versus Floyd. Yeah, yeah, of course. There's an AEW pay-per-view tomorrow, not WWE. AEW Revolution. By the way, tomorrow morning I will be going. I don't know, like I've been like the prop. No, actually I'm doing tomorrow for that. I was gonna go live for AEW Revolution, but no, I'm actually doing something else, and my camera's going to shit. I don't know why. All right, I'll check it out later. I'm watching more fights later after this. I'm gonna actually load up some fights and watch I like to watch the embeddeds and stuff while I work out. Gets me motivation, just seeing them like cut weight and stuff. What made Conor a megastar? Was it Nate Diaz fights or the Eddie Alvarez fights? Oh no, this was the Jose Aldo fight made Conor a megastar. Conor was a megastar during the Jose Aldo buildup. Once that press conference in Ireland happened, the guy was just amazing. Like you just knew the guy was a star because like that press conference in Ireland literally took McGregor from like oh yeah, he's just a guy that talks shit. He's just a wannabe chill to oh no, this guy is a big star. You had the Ireland fans singing a song about him. You had Conor going on and taking the belt from Jose and just saying, "Sorry if I'm doing this. It's to get the fucking camera back in focus, dude." But yeah, no, Conor became a megastar after that Ireland press conference during that Jose World Tour. And then after the Mendes fight, when he won against a guy like Chad Mendes, who everyone thought was going to beat him, yeah, he took it over the what's it called? So yeah, the main card. Oh yeah, the good. Unless you're making the main card. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, no, but I don't think Uncle Dana wants him to fight Glover. That's what I'm trying to say. I just don't think Dana wants Glover to fight for the title. I'm just eating wings tonight for this pay per view. Is it going to be lemon pepper from that Drake song that helped the lemon pepper? I heard like lemon pepper wings were going crazy after that Drake freestyle. If Izzy wins, do you believe he'll fight John Jones? Not now. Conor versus Gaethje next on Fight Night. Wait, what? No way, dude. No way. I don't know if you're capping or not. Oh, I don't know if it's like maybe you're just saying. Are you just saying you want to see that happen? Because Sauceman, I don't think that's happening. To be honest, man, I don't think we're getting Conor versus Gaethje on a fight night. That's a pay per view. Dana White's not going to put freaking the guy who just fought, what's it called? Who just fought Habib Nurmagomedov, and then the guy in Conor McGregor on a free show. Like maybe ABC if ABC really wants McGregor, but I don't know. Thoughts on De La Hoya? Great fighter. It's just a weird dude outside of the ring, but he's still a great fighter. Mexican legend. That's all I can really say about De La Hoya, to be honest. Like, I didn't watch too like I was more into the heavier guys when I was a kid. Floyd was probably the first smaller guy that I actually cared about. Um, and Mickey Ward and also Gotti too. Like those fights were crazy. But for me personally, I've always was big into like Roy Jones Jr., Tarver, those type of dudes. Connor versus Nate's not happening anytime soon. I want it to happen, dude. I feel like that's the fight you need to make for Connor right now. I was big on the whole Ferguson thing, but just give the fans what they want. And then also, too, it's a good, easy out for Connor if he loses the third time to Nate. Because if he loses to Nate for the third time, it gives him an easy excuse to say, hey, I don't want to fight anymore. I'm good. I'm just not in it and stuff like that. Like, but yeah, I can tell Connor's kind of frustrated because I think he wanted to fight soon, but he can't. Honest thoughts on Floyd Mayweather? He's one of the best. He's one of the greatest fighters you'll ever see. Is he the most exciting fighter? No. Is he the most technical fighter? Absolutely. The guy is just so good at making people miss and just tricking foes into throwing strikes and hitting air. He's just a really good fighter. Like I just don't think he's a bad at all. Like boring, sure. Bad, no. Do you think Usman's current reign is enough to get GSP's attention? No, GSP could care less about Kamaru Usman. Usman will never be a draw for the United States and North America, which is GSP's demographic. Usman sure maybe draws in Nigeria and he draws somewhere else, but in those terms, no, no. Connor versus Ferguson makes the boat. Yeah, I would like to see that fight. But if Connor loses that fight, then you have questions about, oh, what's next for Connor. At least with the DS fight, if he loses, he can easily just say, I don't have it in me anymore. I feel like it's time to call it a career. I did so much for this sport. I did so much, and I thank everyone. I thank everyone for coming, and everything like that. At least with that, you get it. Thoughts on Roy Jones Jr.? One of the best, dude. He's my favorite boxer ever, dude. I used to be so excited for Roy Jones Jr. fights. Like that was a peak of boxing, man. Like I honestly, I always tell people I'm honored that I grew up in the '90s and stuff because not only did I see peak UFC, I've also seen peak boxing, so I can always compare and contrast the two. Like I remember being a little kid, dude, and getting so excited when my dad would be like, "Oh yeah, my friends are coming over to watch like the boxing fight, dude," and like I just always remember like my dad's friends were always like, dude, your son loves this shit too much. Like I'd just be sitting on the floor clapping and stuff. But yeah, Roy Jones Jr. was the best, dude. Do you think a champion Colby that beats do you think a champion Colby that beats Usman is enough to get GSP's attention? Uh Colby, maybe. I think Colby does a little bit more than Usman just because Colby is in that North America. Because like GSP says, MMA is like the stock market. And so Usman's stock is high, but the thing is, GSP's likability of winning that fight, not the highest right now. Two, if you're GSP and you're going to come out of retirement, you're not going to come out to retirement. Like, it's not the fact that Usman is just not a draw. It's just also the fact that, GSP might not win against Usman, but I still think GSP would wreck Usman, dude. There's some stuff where I could just see it where it's like Usman's getting that Whitman flat-footedness. Trevor Whitman loves to do this to his fighters. Yes, Usman looked better in this last fight against Burns, but I noticed some flaws where I was like, oh god, dude, Trevor Whitman made him flat-footed like he did to Gaethje. Good job, Whitman. You did the same thing to Rose. You just make them counter strikers and reactionary fighters. Ugh. But when it comes down to it, why would you go in and fight someone that you could possibly lose to and make less money? At least with Colby, there's the whole let's shut this guy up, and GSP is like the fucking hero for it. Yeah, no, exactly. We need motivated Connor. Yeah, peak UFC is going on right now. Floyd was a little Floyd was well known, but yes, the De La Hoya fight definitely took him into superstardom. Like he was well known, Floyd Mayweather. Like he wasn't some guy. Like the Gotti fight was kind of like his introductory to the casual fans. Like because oh my god, back in those days, boxers would fight each other, man. Like Floyd wrecked Gotti. Oh, that was such a disgusting display. Such a disgusting display. What I'm saying is that Floyd just looked phenomenal. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'm gonna go watch some fights before the thing and do my workout, watch the embeddeds and stuff like that. But hopefully, you guys have a good, safe night tonight at UFC. If you guys are going to a friend's house, make sure you guys are doing the proper precautions and just staying safe. Just be safe out there. Don't do anything goofy or anything. Thank you guys so much for coming in. I'll be back either tonight or tomorrow morning. Most likely tomorrow morning for AEW Revolution predictions. So stay on the lookout for that. We'll predict AEW Revolution and then I'll recap the fights. If something crazy happens, just know you'll be getting a phone live stream, not the camera and the StreamYard live stream. It'll be the YouTube phone live stream and everything. So just giving you guys a heads up on that too. But yeah, I think tomorrow we'll be doing the Revolution predictions and and trust me, the Revolution predictions will be really short. So I'm just gonna say it's gonna be Revolution predictions and a Q&A tomorrow. It's not that's what it is. All right, thank you guys so much. Have a good one. Peace.